Hey gamer, are you ready for a new commerce experience? Because if you are, you will love what the Discord team have just cooked up. Because we all love microtransactions, right? You know, spending $10 for a character costume. That is the true gaming experience of the modern age. And who cares if it's a game that you'll stop playing in 6 months? And now the good news is the Discord have found a way to bring microtransactions out of one of the biggest games in the world and to make themselves essential to game developers. This is one of those things that whether you like it or not, you probably won't be able to avoid it, because it's what we call an infrastructure play. And it's all in a bid to take the company public. Get those sick investor returns. Let's get a lay of the land first. Discord have had a busy year. They started with adding an advertising platform in March. It was one designed to make money by getting users to play or to stream certain games in return for rewards. Now that came alongside the release of something huge, the social SDK. That basically is Discord's plan to become an essential piece of gaming infrastructure, and to do that by providing a one-stop solution for friends lists, parties, game invites, and even chat systems, basically to be integrated into games at all levels. Now at the time, Discord's leadership were seemingly gearing up to go public. That even included the CEO and founder stepping away and being replaced with a former Activision vice chairman. But then came a year of legislative balancing. And fun! You know, the Online Safety Act in the UK and similar legislation elsewhere all across the world put pressure in Discord to comply with age verification, and then, well, they kind of became a bit of the public face of those policies. And that meant that whenever Discord's outsourced customer support got hacked, well, it was their brand that took the blame. But now they're unveiling their newest plan. It's one designed to double down on those platform changes and to make Discord an essential piece of industry infrastructure going forward. And that means they've made a new store. And congratulations! You're already inside it. Now, if you're like me, you've probably looked at some of the big channels like Johnny Harris or Vox and seen those silky transitions and cinematic B-roll. Well, today's sponsor, Storyblocks, is a big part of how you can actually get that in your own video production. And honestly, it's a bit of kit I wish I had years ago. And here's what it actually is. It's unlimited access to stock video, music, sound effects, and, I think this is the kicker, After Effects templates. And these will let you punch way above your weight class. You know, those smooth map animations, data visualizations, silky clean lower thirds. They're all there and in templates that you can customize rather than build from scratch. But the best thing is it's all in one subscription. You download whatever you need, and basically just think about the sorts of shots that you couldn't normally get. Aerial cityscapes, inside data centers, historical footage, maybe abstract tech visualizations. The kind of things that would normally cost thousands to shoot or license traditionally. But with Storyblocks, you search, download in 4K, and suddenly your explainer has got the production value of a proper documentary. And the licensing is completely clear for YouTube as well, so no copyright strikes or demonetization surprises. It's a tool we've used before, and I know especially with some of the documentary style things I'd love to make, well, I'll be using it again. So whether you're starting out or just trying to level up your production, check it out at storyblocks.com/Bellular, and the link is just down below. Here's where the store thing is beginning. Discord are going to sell skins for Marvel Rivals outside of Marvel Rivals. Bit weird, right? So their store currently holds a vast selection of cosmetic frames and features for your Discord profile. You can spend real money to just give your profile some generic flair, or, of course, to make your profile picture wear a licensed Call of Duty helmet, which is very exciting. I love that. But even better, you can now spend nearly $30 on a bundle for Magic and Doctor Strange. You can do that without even having to boot up Marvel Rivals. Per the announcement, players can buy all of the regular cosmetics by linking their Marvel Rivals account into Discord, making purchases, and whenever they make those purchases, they'll just be sitting in there, in-game, waiting for you whenever you log in. Now, this is starting using purchases in real US dollars, not, weird premium currency. And it happens inside the Discord app in the US, UK, Ireland, Canada, and Oceania. But the plan is to roll this out to more and more regions, to more currencies, and of course to more platforms, so you can bet it will be on mobile soon. But what's most interesting here, and this is the thing I really want to ram home with this video, this is the thing I really hope you understand, this is technically separate from the main Discord store. And it's a part of a whole new thing they're doing. So the items are bought via a publicly accessible preview of Marvel Rivals inside Discord. And that is our first major hint at how Discord wants this to become a foundation of player spending going forward. Because if this was just Discord opening up their third-party store for the odd microtransaction, it would be relatively benign, right? It would be just saying, hey, you use this app, the app is free, they have a store, there's more things in the store. Wouldn't be news, right? Wouldn't be interesting. But this is different, because what Discord are actually doing is they're setting up a foundation for every developer to monetize your friends list. We flagged up Discord's social SDK at the start of this video, not to just drag it out with something that didn't seem relevant to the, wait, what, there's a store with another game in Discord? No, we did that because it was an important framing device. You see, whenever those tools were first revealed, our analysis was that it represented Discord trying to entrench themselves within the development process. You know, if a developer couldn't justify making their own friends list, chat functionality, party systems, or anything like that, they could just integrate Discord, use a free alternative, one that almost all of their customers already use. Now, that would be amazing for devs who want to make small multiplayer games, but to get big companies who don't have a problem implementing those systems, they would need a carrot. A carrot for those devs to choose to integrate Discord systems instead of doing it their own. And now, this new commerce experience is that carrot. The pitch to developers is that they can, in rather blunt corpo speak, quote, extend the in-game economy. Congratulations, you're going to have an in-game economy extended on top of you. So that means that even when you're not playing a game, well, that's okay. You're still in that game's economy and you still can spend, because it's done in Discord. That is basically Discord's pitch to these companies, that with this, those companies can now monetize players at all times, regardless of whether they're even logged in to the particular game. But it actually goes beyond that, because even if you've never played the game in question, you can now be reached as a customer. According to Stanislav, the CTO and co-founder over at Discord, nearly 20% of shop purchases are actually gifts. And that type of behavior is exactly what they want to build around, and it's core to this announcement. Because in addition to the store functionality, this update also introduces wish lists and the ability to gift cosmetics or in-game items via DMs, even if you yourself don't have a Marvel Rivals account. So if your friend loves that game and you just want to, I don't know, get them a new skin to be happy about for Christmas, you can do that without even having to open an account in that game. Because the point is simple. Discord wants to be how developers reach players, and it wants to be how those players spend. Because with them, those players can be reached in ways which they can't if a developer is solely limited to their own game's ecosystem. With all we've covered so far, I can now explain to you how Discord wants to fit into the market but also expand it. You see, this is all about how monetization can exist outside of the people literally playing your game right now. And there's that one example, yes, with Marvel Rivals, but you see, there's another thing. Currently, and I didn't know this because it doesn't actually touch how I use games at all, but premium currency cards are huge business. In a recent survey, the ESA found that 43% actually want in-game currency cards for Christmas. Yes, they want V-Bucks instead of, I don't know, things. And the adults surveyed say they plan to spend around $500 on game-related gifts through the holidays. Whew. Now Discord wants to make all of that easier. And that's how they'll get their money. And the ideal pitch is rather simple. Your friend is playing Marvel Rivals. You're watching them stream it as you hang out in Discord. You can then go to the Discord store, buy a skin, they can accept it via DM and will instantly have it in-game. In this system, there's no need to load the game, buy currency, and then gift the thing, or even to drive to a store to get a physical card. The whole thing is frictionless. And it's frictionless because it's all set up the place that everyone involved is. And that is Discord. And what they want is for everyone to know that. And that is because Discord wants to become a very valuable company, not just by you buying Nitro, but by becoming a piece of essential infrastructure. I'm not going to repeat myself from a past video, but you see, with a company like Discord, they've always had a huge problem hanging over them. Money. How to actually earn it. It's often like that for companies that basically are high-growth tech startups. Now, the current store is framed as an experiment, but the trajectory here is completely obvious. Almost every game and every developer has a Discord. We've even got one for our members. It's a cool place to hang out. And as broader social media fractures, right, between all the different platforms, having your own community hub is a huge benefit. even if it's also a nightmare for transparency, troubleshooting, and archival, and all the things that we've lost as, forums have died and it's all just turned into Discord servers. But fortunately for Discord, at least the company, they have spent the last half-decade building a position where companies have got to come to them. They have entrenched themselves as being important to developers and to players. With their social SDK, if they are able to just have that catch on in more places, they'll be even more entrenched. They've always had the major problem of making money. And they've had many failures trying to solve that problem. You may even remember their own game store. Even with all of the players chatting in the world, they couldn't make their own store happen. So they pivoted. They're using advertisement to drive engagement on the platform. And this announcement confirms that playtime in advertised games increased in length by up to 48%. So it seems they're actually moving the needle on that. Of course, that means that companies benefited. Players tolerated. It's not like we've all ran away to some free open source competitor. I think there was one of those, but I think it went tits up recently. And of course, Discord was able to profit from the little paid promotion little tab in the bottom left by actually, finally, monetizing their audience in a way that isn't just asking the audience to buy some random cosmetics. And now, they're going to give people an easy way to gift cosmetics to their friends in some of the biggest games in the world. They're going to plug themselves in to that side of commerce. And of course, they will be getting their cut from that. And there's an old saying, if something's free, then you're the product. And broadly speaking with Discord, that is absolutely true, but Discord has also been an absolutely incredible service. I remember the days of, say, Ventrilo, and yeah, Discord absolutely trounces them. But obviously, to get that for free, they do need to make their money some way, and it now means that you will be the target for the commerce experience that they want to roll out. And you'll be the target of that, even when it applies to games that you've never played and may not even intend to play. And of course for Discord, with an audience that wide and that heavily monetized, and that happening whilst the platform becomes ever deeper integrated within the games industry, even being pretty much a first-class citizen on major consoles, well, that all means that Discord is an increasingly attractive company for investors. You see, investors would want a company to have a very strong moat, right? A moat around the business, a defensible position. Discord is on PlayStation. Is a newcomer going to be able to do that? Probably not. Discord is becoming an incumbent piece of infrastructure. They are now trying to work out how they can monetize that scale. Getting players to opt in to the odd little optional purchase here or there, it was never really going to work to do that. Having promotional advertising does work. Having e-commerce that meets people where they socialize across all of the world's biggest games, well, that's obviously part of a way to leverage that scale as well. And it is a defensible position for a business like that. Whenever people are investing shitloads of money, they generally want to do it in a business that can't easily be replicated. And in a business like this, that depends on what's called a network effect, where the utility of the service is larger the more people that are on that service, well, goddamn, that's very hard to disrupt. So, that's what's happening, and it's going to be on the back of you spending money on your friends. And of course, whatever else they decide to do, as they turn Discord into an e-commerce platform. But I do want to leave you with a bit of a silver lining. You know all the worry about $100 games or even $80 games? Well, it turns out $80 games haven't really been working out that well. It actually turns out games are getting cheaper in a way, and you can learn all about that in this video next.